Assalamualaikum. So we are from Group 4. So the company we choose is Toshiba Corporations. So our group member consists of me, which is Akmal bin Azman, Muhammad Amzar Hakim bin Azwan, Kamarul Najwan bin Ahmad Faris, and Muhammad Akram bin Zulkifli. So today we are going to talk about Toshiba Corporation accounting fraud case. First of all, I will talk about an introduction about accounting fraud. Accounting fraud refers to the intentional manipulation or misrepresentation of financial statements to deceive stakeholders, including investors, creditors, regulators, and the general public. This can be achieved through various methods, such as inflating revenues, understating expenses, or misreporting assets and liabilities. The consequences of accounting fraud are severe, as it undermines the trust in financial markets, harm investors, and may lead to legal consequences for those involved. Next, I will explain one by one the following term in my case study. So the first one, tone at the top. In the case of Toshiba Corporation's accounting fraud scandal, the tone at the top refers to the ethical and cultural standards set by the company leaderships, including top executive and the board of directors. The scandal involves systematic accounting irregularities, including profit inflation over several years, which eventually led to the resignations of top executives and large financial penalties for the company. At Toshiba Corporations, once more a massive accounting fraud, galvanizing critics of corporate governance both here and abroad, this time ingeniously eliminated by the elaborately choreographed resignation of three top Toshiba Corporation executives following disclosure of a 1.2 billion profit overstatement reportedly occurring over a 7-year period. Although the details are still sketchy, the Financial Times cites an 82-page report prepared by a panel of external lawyers and accountants that detail institutional accounting malpractice and a corrupt corporate culture. If true, the Toshiba accounting scandals will be one of a long string of financial reporting frauds, including such notorious cases as HealthSouth and WorldCom, in which top executives demanded that earnings expectations be met. The second one is asymmetric information. In the context of the Toshiba Corporation accounting fraud case, asymmetric information refers to the unequal distribution of information between the involved parties, which can lead to inefficiencies and potential misconduct in financial markets. In this case, Toshiba management had access to certain information that the investors, shareholders, and other stakeholders did not have. This information imbalance allowed the management to manipulate the company's financial reports, overstate its profits, and understate its liabilities. As a result, the investors and shareholders were making decisions based on incomplete or misleading information. Asymmetric information can create adverse selection problems, where individuals with better information can take advantage of those with less information. In the Toshiba case, the management access to better information allowed them to engage in accounting fraud, which ultimately harmed the interests of the company's investors and shareholders. So the third one is the role and responsibility of board of directors. The board of directors serve as the principal governance body tasked with overseeing the management of the company and safeguarding the interests of shareholders. In the context of agency theory, the board of directors has several key roles and responsibilities. The first one is monitoring management. The board of directors should have been closely monitoring the company's financial reporting practice to ensure accuracy, transparency, and compliance with accounting standards. However, there were indications of irregularities in Toshiba financial statements, including inconsistencies in reported profits and suspicious accounting practice, which should have raised red flags for the board. The second one, risk management. The board is responsible for supervising the company's risk management procedures and making sure that the right safeguards are in place to recognize, evaluate, and lessen business risks. This includes risks related to finances, operations, legal and regulatory compliance, and reputations. The third one, executive compensations. The board is responsible for deciding on executive pay, which include bonus, wage, stock options, and other incentives. By doing this, management interests are brought into line with those of the shareholders, and performance that increase shareholder value over the long run is encouraged. Next, human biasness or personal interest. In the cases of the Toshiba Corporation accounting fraud case, human biases and personal interest play a significant role in facilitating the fraudulent activities, aligning with principles outlined in agency theory. Here are some examples of how human biases and personal interests may have influenced behavior within the company. So the first one is confirmation bias. Individuals within Toshiba may have been predisposed to seek out information that confirm their preconceived notion or belief, such as the belief that meeting financial targets was paramount, even if it meant resorting to questionable accounting practice. This bias could have led to the dismissal or suppression of contradictory information or warning signs of misconduct. Next, groupthink. Group dynamics within Toshiba's management team or board of directors may have fostered a culture of conformity and deference to authority, discouraging dissenting opinions or independent scrutiny of financial practice. This groupthink mentality could have contributed to a lack of accountability and oversight, allowing the accounting fraud to go undetected. Last one, agency costs. Executive and managers' pursuit of personal interest or self-serving action may have resulted in agency costs, including harm to the companies and its stakeholders' reputations, legal obligations, and financial losses. People may have put their personal interest or short-term advantage ahead of their fiduciary obligations to operate in the best interest of shareholders, which resulted in conflict of interest and a breach of trust. Last but not least, fiduciary duty of the board of directors. In the context of the Toshiba Corporation accounting fraud case, the board of directors had a fiduciary duty to act in the best interest of the company and its shareholder. This duty encompasses several key responsibilities. First of all, duty of care. The board members were obligated to exercise reasonable care, diligence, and prudence in overseeing the company's affairs. This includes staying informed about the company's operations, financial conditions, and compliance with laws and regulations. In the case of Toshiba, the board failed in its duty of care by not adequately monitoring management and detecting the accounting irregularities. Next, duty of loyalty. The board members were obligated to put the interests of the company and its shareholders ahead of their own or other stakeholders' interests. Conflict of interest and self-dealing are forbidden by this responsibility. Any board members who were aware of or involved in the accounting fraud in the Toshiba case would have been in breach of their fiduciary duties. Lastly, duty of obedience. It was the responsibility of the board members to make sure the business followed the law and its bylaws and article of incorporations, among other governing instruments. Following legal and regulatory regulations, as well as ethical standards, is necessary to fulfill this job. By permitting the business to use these harness accounting techniques, Toshiba boards disregarded its obligation to operate in accordance with the law.
Alright, so Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Hamzah Hakim bin Azwan. So I will tell you about the how the fraud was prepared and concealed, and also who is the whistleblower. So before that, I will tell you about the chronology of Toshiba fraud. So in early 2015, Toshiba had been engaging in improper accounting practice for several years, including overstating profit in various business segments. So in April 2015, a whistleblower within the Toshiba raised concern about the accounting irregularities to the management. So within that, in May 2015, Toshiba established an independent investigate panel to look into the whistleblower allegation and conduct a truth review of the company accounting practice. So in July 2015, the independent panel released its finding and revealed significant accounting irregularities and fraudulent practice within the Toshiba. It was discovered that the company had been overstating its profit around 1.2 billion over several years. So, Toshiba publicly acknowledged the accounting irregularities and announced plans to restate its financial result to correct the inflated profit. So for that, Hisao Tanaka, who was serving as the CEO of Toshiba at the time, along with the several other top executives, resigned from their position in response to the second scandal. This leadership shakeup was direct consequence of the accounting scandal and aimed to hold accountable those responsible for the fraudulent practice. So in August 2015, Toshiba appointed a new CEO, that is Masashi Muromachi, to lead the company through the crisis and implement reform. Muromachi's primary responsibility was to restore investor confidence, stabilize the company financial position, and oversee the implementation of corrective measures to prevent similar incidents in the future. In 2015 until 2016, Toshiba underwent a period of significant restructuring in an effort to recover from the financial losses incurred due to the scandal. This restructuring involved selling of assets, cutting jobs, and streamlining operations to reduce costs and improve efficiency. Additional to the company implement strict internal control and enhance oversight mechanism to prevent future instance of accounting fraud. So, from 2016 until now, Toshiba continued to grapple with the aftermath of the accounting scandal, facing investigation and lawsuit from the regulators, shareholder, and investor. The company also implement reform to improve the transparency and corporate governance. So, I will tell you the fraud was how was the fraud was perpetrated and concealed. So, who was the person that do the fraud? So, the fraud involved multiple individuals within the Toshiba, include the top executive, manager, and maybe other person that involved in the accounting record and financial reporting. So, what the fraud do? The fraud at Toshiba involved manipulating accounting method to make profit look bigger and losses seem smaller. They did this by overstating profit with method like altering contract work record and using deceptive transaction in different department like visual product and PC business. So, where and when did this happen? So, the this happened, the fraudulent activity occurred over several years leading up to the scandal, with specific instance and practice being carried in different division and department Toshiba. So, the fraud at Toshiba was hidden by falsifying financial report to show higher profit, possibly pressuring department to meet unrealistic target, not being transparent about the company through financial state, and ignoring the accounting issue when they first raised. So, who is the whistleblower? For now, the whistleblower who initially raised the concern about the potential accounting irregularities was internal informant. So there are no specific person that been shown. Their action of the whistleblower prompt Toshiba to initiate internal investigation into the matter and eventually leading to uncovering the fraudulent activities and lead to what happened to the Toshiba.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Kamarul Najwan bin Ahmad Faris. I will present the elements that influence to the fraud. First of all is the pressure. Toshiba is under tremendous pressure to reach the high financial goals set by the shareholders, the company leadership, and outside stakeholders. As the inquiry reports make clear, poor accounting policies were started during the global financial crisis of 2008. Being a major participant in technology industry, Toshiba was expected to hold onto its reputation and place in the market. This has been put a lot of pressure to Toshiba to fulfill their financial goals. The second element is opportunities. Toshiba may have had chance for financial information manipulation and falsification due to its sophisticated accounting procedure and wide range of corporate operation. and the internal control and governance weakness at Toshiba had gave certain employees of the corporation the chance to modify the financial data illegally. The third one is rationalization. The people in charge of the fraud claiming that aggressive accounting techniques were typical for the sector or that other business had engaged in similar wrongdoing. They believed that using financial data manipulation was a good way to get past unexpected difficulties or hold into the business competitive advantage. The second slide I will present is the consequence, effect, and penalty that imposed to the auditor, the company, the board of director, the shareholder, and other relevant parties. First of all is auditor. Due to their failure to identify the accounting problem during their audits, the auditor involved in the affair suffer significant harm to their reputation. This can cause investors and clients to lose faith in them, which could limit their capacity to draw in new business. The second one is company. The accounting fraud scandal caused Toshiba to suffer large financial loss. Discover penalties levied by regulatory bodies, court costs related to inquiries and litigation, and the price of restarting financial account. The next one is the board of director. Due to the board directors' incompetence in identifying and stopping accounting fraud, they came under heavy criticism. Changes in leadership or governance structure may demand by shareholders and regulators who doubt the efficacy of the board governance practice. And the effect to the shareholder. Due to the accounting fraud being made public, Toshiba stock value will crash, causing a substantial financial loss for each shareholder. This will make investor confidence may decline due to a loss of faith in the company's board of director and management, which could impact the business future capacity to raise finance. The last one is to the other relevant parties. Toshiba was hit with fines and penalties by Japanese regulatory bodies, including the Financial Services Agency, for its role in the accounting fraud incident. These fines are meant to guarantee that financial reporting rules are followed and to discourage such behavior in the future.
So, in conclusion, this report shows the well-known company involvement in these unethical operations and also reveal the issues happen inside the corporation, which includes the changing of the financial statement and also the consequences of the actions makes uh, inside the operation. And the consequences is including the resignation of the top management, the regulatory and legal actions taken towards them, the corporate governance reforms, the cultural shifts, public trust and confidence, and also the wide impact to the related industries. And in my opinion, uh, the case shows to the case makes us open our view towards the corporate world, and also the makes us aware of the possibilities of wrongdoing inside a corporate. Even the corporate is big and well known, it also can possibly happen. And also it gave us the mentality to prepare to face the challenges that might be happening in the future. And lastly, for the wisdom that I can take from these cases is that I started with the quote that the corporate integrity is the term foundation to long-term success, which means that without the culture of integrity, even in large, successful uh, and well-known companies, also can suffer severe consequences from making a wrong or bad decision, especially when doing it illegally, which includes the loss of trust, financial penalties, and reputational damage. So a good governance, ethical leadership, and a transparent corporate culture are essential to prevent fraud and maintain the stakeholders' confidence towards the company. Okay, that's all from us. Thank you so much. Bye.